I remember once one of my friends told me, "You can learn English better and faster than us because you are smarter than us." And I was like, "What? Are you serious when you say these things? How can you say that? Don't you see all the efforts I put into this work? I work 3 times harder than any of you in here, and still you say that it's because I'm smarter." She was like, "No, it's because you're smarter." She didn't want to accept my response, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." I tell you this story because maybe you have similar ideas with the girl I mentioned in this story. Maybe you think that some people can learn English better and faster than you because they are smarter, they have some certain advantages, maybe they are younger, maybe you are too old, maybe it's too late for you, or maybe you are not kind of a language learning guy. But if I have to tell you the truth, I must tell you this. Some people can learn English better and faster than you because they are more hardworking than you and they are in love with the language. And there are some other reasons. In today's video, I want to share with you those reasons. This video might not be the best pleasant one because you will have to admit some of your flaws and your different mindsets about learning English than other people, but I think this video is needed. If you don't know me yet, my name is Mert Maral. I am not a native English speaker. At the beginning of 2023, I have intensely started learning English. And through this YouTube channel, I help people about becoming fluent in English and using English to improve their lives. I want to spread my message because I sincerely believe that the system made us believe we can learn English through old and useless methods such as getting English lessons in traditional education system, going to English courses, studying through grammar books, and spending quite amount of money. But we have been failed every single time because we have been cheated. These methods don't work, and we have lost time, we have lost money, we have lost opportunities, and we are done with that. So as I told you in today's video, I'm gonna give you a couple of reasons, 4 reasons actually, why some people can learn English but you can't. And first of all, this is happening because you don't have a strong desire of learning English and you are not in love with the language. I want to quickly tell you my story to demonstrate what is being in love with the language and what is having a core, strong internal desire. It all started at the summer of 2022. I was in Berlin, Germany. I was traveling by myself and I was having a chat with a half Turkish, half German girl. And I'm a Turkish guy, my native language is Turkish, and we were having a conversation with her in Turkish. She told me, "My Turkish is not very strong, and if you want, we can communicate in English because since you don't know German and since my Turkish is not very powerful, English could be a great tool for us to communicate if you know English." She asked me, like, "Do you know English?" I told her, "Yeah, sure, I know we can communicate in English," and she started telling me some things. I listened to her. It was my turn to give a response back to her, and I was like, wait, I needed to think for like 30 seconds before I say something, and when I said something, she was like, "Hey, do you mean this or do you mean that?" She couldn't understand me because I said that thing wrong. And right at that moment, I felt completely embarrassed about myself because she was like, "I know 3 languages, Turkish, German, English. How many languages do you know?" And I told her I know 2 languages, Turkish and English. And when it was my turn to speak in English, I couldn't say anything and I felt completely embarrassed. I felt shy and I told myself right at that moment, when I go back to Turkey, the first thing I will do will be studying English and getting fluent in this language as soon as possible. And that's exactly what I did. At the beginning of 2023, I had already started focusing on English and working intensely on English. So I tell you this story because I want you to understand your own core internal reason. In this story, my core internal reason was feeling ashamed about not knowing English. Gradually, things have changed, but this is how I started working on English. And I want you to understand your own core internal reason, because if you're not fluent in English, either you don't have an internal reason, you have external reasons, or you are not very serious about your internal reasons. If your boss tells you to learn English because you will get paid more, or if your manager tells you to speak in English because he will send you to a meeting in that country, they are not internal reasons, you know. And when things get hard, and believe me, they will get hard, you will hit plateaus, you will see that you can't make any progress despite giving effort, and maybe you will have some personal problems about your life and you will feel like not studying on English. And when things get hard, if you don't have a core internal desire, reason, you will give up working on English, you will start from scratch, or maybe you will completely give up and you won't learn English. But if you have a core, strong internal reason, it will motivate you throughout the journey, especially when things get hard. I want you to think about your own core internal reason, and I want you to understand English is one of the most profitable investments, skills you can make on yourself, because it has the ability to completely change various areas of your life, including your career, your education, your success, your vision, your relationships, your hobbies, your travels, and maybe some other things that I can't even recall now. So this is why, think about it, make some meditation, try to understand what is your core reason, core desire of learning English, and don't leave that meditative state until you come up with your own reason or reasons. And when you find them, write them down to a piece of paper and put that piece of paper to a wall or to a place where you can see it every single day, every single morning. Read those reasons every day to plant those reasons into your subconscious mind. That being said, let's go to the second reason. Some people can learn English, but you can't because you don't make English a priority and you come up with excuses. Mostly people come up with "I don't have time" excuse, and maybe you are one of them. But the truth is, nobody has time, dude. You don't have time. I don't have time. I didn't have time. Go and ask 10 people on the streets like, "Hey, do you have time?" And 10 of them will tell you that, "No, we don't have time." Nowadays, somehow, everybody is busy. But the important thing is creating time for your priorities in that busy state. When I first started focusing on English, I was at the 5th grade of the medical school. And if you don't know it, studying in a medical school is not the easiest thing in the world. I was going to hospital, I was doing my internship, I was dealing with my lessons, with my exams, I was doing my daily chores, I was exercising, I was socializing, I was intensely learning English, and believe me when I say this, I was working dusk till dawn. Means that I was starting to work when I wake up and I was finishing my work when I go to bed. Was it easy? No. It was super fucking hard, but I kept working on English because I made it a priority of mine. And this is what I'm telling you. If you really and truly make it a priority, you will create time for English in your daily life. I'm not talking about finding time. So think about it. Is it really one of your priorities, or how can you make it a priority of yours? And how can you create time for English? And the third reason, some people can learn English and get fluent in English, but you can't. And maybe it's because you are using the wrong vehicles. If you have an experience with getting English lessons in traditional education system, going to language courses, studying English through grammar books, you know those methods don't work. They are the recipes for failure. And I'm 100% sure when I say this, if you still expect from those things to teach you English, you will fail, 100% guarantee. Because I have been there and I have seen dozens of other people who are still trying to get English by using those methods, and day by day they fail and they fail and they will fail. Because English lessons in traditional education system or language courses or grammar schools, grammar books are not designed for teaching students English. They are designed for hiring English teachers and getting customers and thus making money. At this point, you might have a question like, okay, but then how am I gonna learn English? I'm glad you asked this question. Watch the other videos on the channel to see my frameworks, but if you want me to take you by hand and walk you through as you are implementing those frameworks day by day, wait for a couple of months, I will come up with another framework and I think it's gonna help you. But still, today, you can watch the other videos, you can learn my frameworks, you can learn what to do, and you can start implementing those things today. And to not miss out the other videos, keep watching the channel because I share tips and tricks about learning this language. And the last reason, fourth reason I want to tell you is this. Some people can learn English and get fluent, but you can't, and maybe it's because you are translating in your head and you are applying your native language into English. Maybe you apply your native language's grammar rules into English, maybe you apply the structure of your native language into English, or maybe you apply letter pronunciations into English, and this is why you have a strong non-native accent. If you're not familiar with the idea of thinking in English, let me tell you, if you don't know how to think in English, you can't become fluent in English. In other words, learn to think in English and then you will become fluent. In the previous video, I created a video about how you can start thinking in English. I have given you 5 steps, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I will put the link of that video to here and to the description box. If you haven't seen that video, right after finishing this one, I would highly recommend you to watch that video as well, because I explained great stuff and I think that video is gonna help you. And to tell you the truth, there are some other things I want to tell, some other reasons why some people can learn English and get fluent, but you can't. But I don't want to keep this video too long because it's not good to keep a video too long, right? People don't watch it. So this is why I'm thinking about creating another video, and I will post it on the next week. It's gonna be my following video. If you want to see that video, stay tuned and keep following the channel, as I said. And also, if you want to hear more tips and tricks about learning this language, once again, keep following this channel. That's it for today's video. As always, I want to thank you for watching me in this video. If you like what I'm talking on this channel, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and share it with your friends and with your loved ones. If you do those kind of things, you will support me. That's the obvious part, but it's gonna be beneficial to you as well, because the YouTube algorithm is gonna show you more similar videos like this one. We hope that more educative and entertaining ones. You can learn many things from them and you can enjoy them later. Other than that, take care of yourself until the next week, until the next video. If you have something to say to me, we can meet with you at the comments down below. But if no, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Until that time, take care, keep working on English, and bye.